Have you ever been on a flight and felt the plane drop out from under you? Today, we're investigating a terrifying incident involving a Singapore Airlines flight. Severe turbulence ripped through the cabin, leaving one person dead and dozens injured. Join us as we dissect the details of the shocking event and ask the chilling question: how safe are we really in the skies? Join us as we uncover the truth behind the Singapore Airlines turbulence tragedy. Turbulence encounter. One passenger died and 71 people were injured when a Singapore Airlines flight from London to Singapore encountered severe turbulence on Tuesday. The turbulence threw passengers and crew around the cabin, forcing an emergency landing in Bangkok. The Boeing 777-300ER was about 10 hours into its flight and midway through meal service when it hit turbulence over Myanmar's Irrawaddy Basin, the airline reported. Injuries and fatality. Andrew Davis, a passenger traveling to New Zealand for business, told CNN's Erin Burnett that the flight had been perfectly normal until the seatbelt sign came on and all hell broke loose seconds later. Davis described the plane as suddenly dropping, causing shoes, iPads, iPhones, cushions, blankets, cutlery, plates and cups to fly through the air and crash into the ceiling. The gentleman next to him had a cup of coffee that splashed all over Davis and then hit the ceiling. Davis soon realized the severity of the turbulence when he turned around and saw several passengers with head gashes, including one woman with blood pouring down her face and an elderly passenger in severe shock. There was so much screaming, he recalled. Video and images from inside the aircraft revealed extensive damage, with overhead compartments smashed open and emergency oxygen masks hanging from the ceiling. One photo showed a section of the galley ceiling open, with parts of the plane's interior hanging down. Trays, containers, plastic bottles, and hot beverage pots were strewn across the floor. A 73-year-old British man, later identified as Geoff Kitchen, died in the incident from a suspected heart condition. According to Kiripong Kirikakorn, General Manager of Bangkok Suvarnabhumi International Airport, the autopsy process was still ongoing. Kitchen was remembered by the Thornbury Musical Theatre Group, or TMTG, where he had worked for over 35 years, as always a gentleman with the utmost honesty and integrity. The British Foreign Office informed CNN that it was supporting the family of the British passenger who died in the Singapore Airlines flight. Davis, seated toward the front of the plane, assisted in tending to Kitchen, who was seated behind him. Many passengers required assistance, but Davis focused on helping Kitchen. He helped carry him, get him out of his seat, and lay him on the floor so medical professionals could administer CPR, which continued for about 20 minutes. The Samiti Vej Srinacaran Hospital in Bangkok reported that at least 71 passengers were injured in the incident, with 6 sustaining severe injuries. The injured included citizens from Malaysia, the UK, New Zealand, Spain, the US, and Ireland. Kirikakorn, who inspected the aircraft, mentioned that some passengers suffered broken arms. Aircraft damage and emergency landing. The flight, carrying 211 passengers and 18 crew members, departed from London's Heathrow Airport at around 10:30 p.m. local time. It was en route to Singapore's Changi Airport but was diverted to Bangkok, landing at 3:45 p.m. local time. Footage captured after the diversion shows emergency responders carrying a passenger from the aircraft on a stretcher. Following the landing in Bangkok, nearly 200 passengers were awaiting onward flights to their destinations. A Singapore Airlines plane subsequently departed Bangkok for Singapore with 131 of the 211 passengers. Airline response. Singapore Airlines CEO Goh Chun Fong stated that the airline is providing all possible assistance and support to the passengers and their families. He expressed condolences to the family of the deceased passenger and apologized for the trauma experienced by everyone on the flight. Singapore's Ministry of Transport announced that it is investigating the incident involving flight SQ321 and the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board is sending personnel to Singapore to assist with the investigation. Turbulence happens when a plane flies through clashing air masses moving at significantly different speeds. During light to moderate turbulence, passengers might feel a strain against their seatbelts, and unsecured items could move around the cabin. However, severe turbulence can throw passengers around, leading to serious injuries or even death. According to an airline statement, the plane encountered sudden extreme turbulence over the Irrawaddy Basin, a river in Myanmar, at 37,000 feet about 10 hours after departure. Aviation tracking data from Flight Radar 24 shows the flight suddenly dipped and then rapidly climbed a few hundred feet before repeating this pattern and finally stabilizing at its cruising altitude. The entire disruption lasted about 90 seconds. About 14 minutes later, the flight changed course. The airline reported the pilot declared a medical emergency and diverted the aircraft to Bangkok. According to CNN weather analysis, the flight likely encountered rapidly developing thunderstorms over southern Myanmar during the time extreme turbulence was reported. Tropical thunderstorms like these are common for this time of year as moisture increases with the onset of the southwest monsoon season in South Asia. They can form quickly in the early afternoon as the land heats up, especially near the coastline. Budding thunderstorms, like those on Tuesday, may not appear on radar in their early stages, even though the rapid upward motion within them can still produce turbulence. These storm cells likely grew from 20,000 to 30,000 feet to well over 50,000 feet in less than an hour. Turbulence and climate impact. About 65,000 aircraft in the US experience moderate turbulence annually, and around 5,500 encounter severe turbulence. These numbers are expected to rise as the climate crisis alters atmospheric conditions, according to a professor of atmospheric science at the University of Reading, UK. A September 2022 study predicts that clear air turbulence will significantly increase globally by 2050 to 2080, particularly along busy flight routes, with the strongest turbulence intensifying the most. In March 2023, violent movements on a private jet led to the death of a former White House official, though weather was not a factor. This incident occurred just days after 7 people were hospitalized following turbulence on a commercial flight. In July 2023, severe turbulence injured 7 people on a Hawaiian Airlines flight to Sydney. Additionally, in December 2022, a Hawaiian Airlines flight from Arizona to Honolulu experienced severe turbulence, injuring 36 people, with 20 requiring emergency room treatment. Singapore Airlines is often regarded as one of the world's safest carriers. Its only previous fatal accident occurred in October 2000 when flight SQ006 crashed during takeoff from a closed runway in Taiwan amid heavy rain, resulting in 83 fatalities. On Tuesday, Singapore Airlines announced that a dedicated team had arrived in Bangkok to support colleagues and local authorities, updating this information on its Facebook page. The airline expressed its deepest condolences to the family of the deceased and apologized for the traumatic experience endured by passengers and crew. Boeing stated that it is in contact with Singapore Airlines and is ready to support them, deferring further inquiries to the airline and local authorities. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. Thanks for watching!